What strange fetishes your ducking partners had? I was shocked when one of my ex asked me to spit into her mouth. Bit more innocent than the others here, but I dated a few girls who liked their ears getting played with. Just like rolling their lobes in my fingers. I didn't get it, but one partner would basically start convulsing if I did it right, so I went in with both hands and worked those lobes. The other one, all I had to do was text her ears, and she'd respond, "Oh duck stop, I'm at work" or something. I think your exes might have been Firendi. That was my thought as well. Strangest was a guy that wanted me to speak in French while he ducked me really hard, like, it got too painful kind of hard. Not too weird, but I didn't know any exy talk in French and I don't associate that language with intercourse since I only spoke it in elementary school. So while we were ducking I was saying shit like "the window is blue, cats are my favorite, you are nice, no omelette du fromage," or "man, I didn't even think of that. What's the French word for croissant again?" Edit. No wait, I've got it. It's baguette. My friend went home with a girl after a night out and when they got down to it she produced a kitchen knife and asked him to cut himself and bleed on her. He noped out of there quick. Blood play or knife play? Yeah, that's scary. Usually done with fake flood, but I guess she meant business. My husband has a story like this. His old college roommate was a weird chick, super into Disney princesses and dressed like a 45-year-old mom circa 1987. Think turtlenecks under applique floral sweatshirts, high-waisted pleated pants and keds. She sent some dude to the hospital in the middle of the night due to deep knife wounds. She told my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, about it when she returned home the next morning. The guy was a one-night stand who ended up needed stitches. She admitted to keeping a knife in her dresser drawer for bedroom play. My boyfriend likes blowjobs with teeth. It's safe to say I was shocked at first when in the heat of the moment he yelled, "Use your teeth." I asked him if he was a masochist, and he was like, "I don't know, but the pain feels really good." Honestly, this takes a lot of stress off of me, because my TMJ prevents me from opening my mouth all the way, so teeth are pretty much inevitable. Gotta admit, I like the teeth too. Much more intense. It hurts me so much, teeth are an instant killer. Gotta work up to it, start by masturbating with sandpaper. My first girlfriend, the first person I ever did anything exily with, was very into rough and degrading ex. It started off slow and light, some spanking, calling her a slut, then progressively ramped up to the point where I was telling her she was only a hole for me to duck and slapping her face and spitting on her during X, all things she explicitly asked me to do. Outside of the bedroom we were very cute and cuddly, never any name calling, but during X it was totally different. We broke up years ago, but I think because that was all my first exal experience in my teenage years. It left an imprint and I am wildly into rough and kinky X now. I loved every second of it. Sounds like me. I guess it's giving away that control to someone else, and it's exciting in a submissive role. For me suddenly being so dominant and in control was such a turn on. I never would have thought before her that I would want to do and say the things that I did, but now I love it. Have never been with anyone as submissive as her since. I had an ex whose kink was simulated rope. I however was terrible at it. She kept asking me to punch her in the face once and I wouldn't do it, and then she threatened to break up with me mid-intercourse. So I punched her and knocked her out and then went into full-blown panic mode. And by panic I mean got dressed and went home. And then it turned out she faked the being knocked out part and got upset that I left and stopped. So still going strong it seemed? Actually a few weeks later she broke up with me. Her best friend and her husband had a cuckold situation going with my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, but the husband was feeling left out, so she, my GF, decided she would break up with me and then be the husband's duck toy while the husband's wife, my girlfriend's best friend, was ducking my girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. And I'll swear on any book that this is all true. My brain hurt trying to read that, but I think I got there. Edit, a graphic I was asked to make. Not me, but a friend. She was into consensual non-consent, which in itself isn't that strange, but she wanted it to be real. Either break into the house in the middle of the night while she's sleeping, or she would want to get blackout drunk and be taken advantage of. Not to mention she liked pain, like being punched, full force. He said he didn't feel comfortable but still did some of it. She wasn't mentally well and was abused a lot growing up too. So she wants to date a ninja? Now that I think about it, that is actually pretty hot. Ninja sneak in and stab you in the heart. Not punch you in your gagged head while balls deep. I think you're seriously limiting what ninjas do on their off time. I remember a story about a married couple where the man was allowed to duck her whenever he please, even whilst in the middle of other activities, and she'd resist occasionally because it turned them both on. They had a safe word for if something was really wrong, but personally I think a wholesome relationship is accepting your partner's kinks and fetishes as long as they don't hurt you or others around you. That's the arrangement I have with my husband. Of course, we're a BDSM couple, so it's really just an extension of bedroom life into daily life. I generally call it a continuous free use policy, though there are community debates regarding the proper term for it. For example, my husband's free use of me is different than him offering me as his free use submissive at a BDSM party. The former is monogamous, the latter is not. The rules are simple. I openly consent to him using my body anytime and for whatever he wishes without regard to my comfort, needs, current engagements, or energy mood. It's a 24/7 agreement. Hard limits are already established. That is, he can't do things that might threaten my job. The greatest part of BDSM is trust. We've been married for 13 years, so I know he will take my needs and state of emotion into any decision he makes. I trust him to do right by us both. We also have a safe word if anything becomes untenable, but I've not needed it yet. In daily life, I have a powerful job with a considerable amount of responsibility on my shoulders, as well as many opportunities to exercise control, both on my behalf and those of others. I like the break of being submissive at home. I let my husband be head of the household and he also assumes the role of dominant in our DS dynamic. But this is not because my job threatens his masculinity or I'm some kind of social regressive. Power play is just a kink, and we found a way for it to help our marriage. Our arrangement helps him feel in charge and boosts his confidence when our life-work dynamic becomes overwhelming. It also means my do you want to have X default is always yes, so it prevents the ennui of daily life from killing our X drives, while protecting us from stagnant domesticity. Strange is a word that relies on perspective. My fetish for my woman to wear lingerie was a strange thing for her at first, as she had past relationships where they saw lingerie as a waste because it would end up on the floor, which is strange in my eyes. I forgot where I read this, but lingerie is not about the sex. It's the possibility. Somehow a woman in very few clothes is more hot than one with no clothes. Exactly. Imagining what could be just before you turn it all into a reality is an exquisitely delicious thing. One of my exes wanted me to urinate on his tummy. You dodged a bullet there. Any 6-year-old boy knows that you have to urinate in a girl's belly button to get her pregnant. My god, in my 27 years of life I was under the belief that I had to pee in a girl's butt to get them pregnant. Which means my kids. I gotta go. I dated a woman who liked role-playing scenes where she was exposed and violated, but in non-sexual situations. Things like a prisoner getting a full-body cavity search. On Halloween I was an alien, and after we got home she got an alien anal probe, but her favorite was Dr. Patient and she wanted me to do a full physical including gynecological exam. It was interesting to say the least. Had an ex who liked to be slapped, choked, bitten and hit hard. She told me she was initially attracted to me because I looked fit and strong, and she imagined me doing this to her. I might look like a hard man, but I'm a complete softie. I wasn't into what she was asking at all. Tried it a few times for her, but it was a real turn off for me. What surprised me was that she was quite shy when it came to any sort of exhibitionism. She'd never walk around the apartment naked in case anyone saw her through the windows, yet she wanted me to draw blood by hitting her in the face. Wasn't ever going to work. Great girl, I liked her a lot and I really hope she found someone who is making her happy.